Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to look at the first video in the Solidworks series that looks at the basics. You don't have to have any previous experience with CAD or Solidworks because we're going to start right at the beginning and look at the fundamentals of how we can go about creating models in Solidworks. So for those of you that don't know, Solidworks is a parametric feature-based modeler, and all parametric means is it's dimension driven. One of the major benefits of the parametric modelers are the high levels of control you can have over models. You can create models to specific sizes, and this is particularly handy when we're looking at designing products or assemblies or parts. It gives the user a high level of control over the modeling, and it's really good for designing and manufacturing. So if we have a look on screen, here you can see it's a cube with a hole through the middle, and this is the objective of today's tutorial. We're just going to keep it simple and learn how to do this. But before we start there, we've got a little bit of housekeeping and general setup. If we go to Tools, Options, Document Properties. Now, I'm based in the UK, and drafting standard BSI is most applicable. There are several options in there. Depending on where you are in the world, this is a place you need to come to look at your drafting standard. Similarly, units, MMGS, this is the units I tend to use. I have been known to use MKS or IPS. Again, it's down to preference, but wherever you are in the world, you may want to change your units, and this is where it is for future reference. So let's talk a little bit more about the user interface that we can see on screen. If we come over here to the left, this area here is known as the feature tree, and it's bare at the moment because this is a new part. We'll have a look at a model in a minute and it'll explain a bit better what the feature tree entails. But we can still see here common theme. We've got the planes, we've got an origin. This is always the case with a new part. We have the material bar up here. Not going to worry about it too much at the moment, but at a later date we'll have a look. You can apply materials to your models to simulate how they would fare in reality. It's really handy. And if we come up here at the top, we've got features, sketches, these tabs at the top here. This is known as the command manager, and as you can see there's a whole suite of tools. We'll look at a couple in a minute when we get into the model, but not going to get too worried about that today. And just another personal preference, I use the use large buttons with text, mainly due to my age and my eyesight, but again, it's personal preference. It's up to you guys, whatever you like to use. So let's have a look at an existing part that I modelled, and this will give us a bit of a better understanding on what the feature tree does. So as you can see here, we've got planes, sketch, and some features, and in essence the feature tree gives us the history of how a model is created, and it's really handy if we need to edit a model or if we want to understand how it was created to maybe go about making those modifications. So what we can do here is grab this bar here and pull it back, and we're rolling back the feature tree, so we're seeing how the part was created in a timeline fashion. And so if we can understand the principle of how the feature tree creates the part, it's really good for working on more complex parts and editing parts at a later date. So we're coming into new part now. So now we'll talk about the basics of model creation. So we have planes and sketches which are used to create features. You can also create sketches on planes and planar faces, and we can create reference geometry from planes and other parts of geometry. So we'll have a quick look here a minute at how we can create reference geometry. So if we go reference geometry at the top and planes, select the front face, and we'll give it a 50mm offset. And there you can see we've created a 50mm plane parallel with the front plane. And another handy one to use is an axis. If we select front plane and the top plane, it's created an axis on the intersection between the two planes. And now if we select a plane and an axis and go planes, switch the angle to 45 degrees, it's created us a plane at 45 degrees. Now these are just some very quick examples of how we can create planes, and then you can sketch on any of these planes and begin to create the building blocks for your model. I'm just going to get rid of these for now for clarity. So we'll have a little look at sketches now. So if we come onto the top plane here, come up to the command manager at the top here, select the sketch tab and hit the sketch button. I'm just going to use lines today. I'm going to draw 4 lines and close it up there. And there's a couple of things to note with sketches. So the sketch is blue at the moment, and this means this is telling us it's underdefined. Similarly, if we look at the feature tree, you've got bracket hyphen bracket, that tells us that the sketch isn't defined. And why do we want our sketches defined? Well, generally it's good practice if you have a model that has a lot of parts in the feature tree, a lot of building blocks in the feature tree, and you need to go back and edit it and all your sketches are underdefined, it's going to be a mess. It's always good to fully define the sketch, and defining the sketch basically tells Solidworks the dimensions, the parameters of the sketch, and where it is in relation to the origin in the model. So it's really good practice to fully define your sketches, and I always try to where possible. There's 2 ways we can define the sketch. We can use relations or dimensions, and we'll have a look at that now. And the objective, we know that when the sketch is fully defined, it will go black. So let's have a look. If we select this line here, line properties on the left, add relations, we say that this top line we want horizontal, and the side vertical, vertical, and the bottom one will make horizontal as well. So that's looking nice and square. If we come up to Smart Dimension, we'll start telling Solidworks, if we make it 50mm wide, 50mm high, and now if we just define it in relation to the origin, 25 and 25. There we go. Now you can see the sketch has gone black and the bracket hyphen bracket is gone, which tells us that the sketch is fully defined. So now we've got a fully defined sketch. We can go to Features, Extrude Boss, select our sketch, and we're going to give it 50mm depth. And there we have our cube. And that little eye icon at the top here, I'm just going to hide the planes. You can show or display parts of the model with that icon there. Now I did say earlier you can also sketch on planar faces, so let's now select this top surface, go sketch, sketch, and we use this view orientation button here. We can select the top there, and that will take the view normal to the top face. we just come at the top here, select the circle and draw it on the origin, go to Smart Dimension. We're going to make this 20mm diameter, and our sketch is nice and black, fully defined, and we'll extrude cut. And for the direction, we'll go through all, which makes it go through the entire model. And there we have it. That is the model, that is the tutorial for today. And you know, it doesn't necessarily matter about the end result. Obviously it's good that we've got here, but the most important aspect of this is to understand the building blocks. So understanding the concept and the principle of the feature tree, and planes and sketches. And if we can understand these basic principles, we can utilize them and create, you know, really more advanced parts, and then go on to make assemblies and stuff. So well done guys, that's the tutorial done for today. If you found the video helpful or enjoyed it at all, please give us a like and subscribe. And yeah, we plan on doing more videos, so watch this space, and we will build it up and we will get into more advanced parts, more advanced features. All of these features at the top here we'll have a good look at, and we can create some really exciting parts and models. Alright guys, thanks, bye bye.